Why does this store dare to send people to compete against the 5 great families? Because, clearly, the young master of the Duong family was already in their hands. If the young master of the Duong family dares to kidnap, is there anything else they don't dare to do? Tan Thu Thien saw Lu Tanfong on the side showing a crazy smile and couldn't help but ask, "What are you laughing at? What's funny here?" Lu Tanfong thought to himself. Because the power of the pet shop is so mischievous and terrifying, it's better to let the Qin family make enemies than the Lu family. Why would they get involved? He turned his head to look at Tan Thu Thien and replied, "I heard that Brother Tan wants to divide the high and low with Talang Wei, so I will give up the stage." Lu Qingfeng wanted to let Qin Thu Thien cause trouble with his favorite store, and by the way, the Qin family would fall to the bottom of society without his family having to bother. Hua Kuang in the back saw everyone starting to ignore him and quickly shouted loudly, "Lu Tanfong, you are a chicken, get out of here and have a few battles with your grandfather." Tu Lang Wei carefully advised. Lu Tanfong is not simple, don't underestimate the enemy anymore. That Tan Thien Thien, let me handle it, you be careful with the Lu family. Tan Thu Thien fiercely emitted heavenly energy, raised his spear to his face, and said coldly, "So let me open my eyes a little and see what the strength of someone who claims to be a champion is." The 5 great families will certainly not let nameless names like Talang Wei or Hua Kuang have the upper hand. Tan Thu Thien raised his hand. 2 extremely large summoning spaces appeared on the left and right sides. From there appeared 2 giant dragon heads. Appear the Great Earth Giant Dragon and the Thunderfire Han Dragon Beast. The Blue Great Earth Dragon has hard silver scales, while the Thunderfire Dragon Beast is covered by a silver, metal-like spear. As soon as I showed up, I felt a burning heat like being near a volcano that had just erupted. Level 9 Great Earth Dragon Havi has fully grown and is one of the strongest level 9 defensive pets. While the Thunderfire Han Dragon's level 9 beast fighting power is at the top, there is also the prestigious pure bloodline of the dragon, ranked 7th in the dragon rankings. The auditorium echoed with the surprised noise of the audience. Having a dragon is like having a plane. This Tan Thu is incredibly rich, has both a plane and a luxury yacht, which is so lavish that ordinary people rarely have it. Tan Thu Thien revealed a confident smile. He raised his chin and said to Talang Wei, who had been standing still without saying a word, "Quickly start summoning your pet, I know you also have a level 9 dragon." Tu Lang Wei did not answer, but looking at this situation, it was clear that the Huyan Diem beast alone was not able to confront the 2 dragons. Tu Lang Wei gritted her teeth, now opening her hand, summoning space, calling out her trump card. From inside the summoning space, ice-cold air poured out, a characteristic of the silver mist star Wei Long Tone. The white body is slowly walking out. As soon as they stepped out, the dragons roared at each other. The dragon's roar spread through the air, making others want to kneel. Even though one is the son of a merchant and the other is the son of an official, they have never touched a dragon feather. Of course, I didn't expect that today I would witness such a large-scale match, with 4 dragons here together. Is Tanfong on this side preparing to fight Hua Kuang and the Dark Dragon Dog? This Kua did not dare to ignore the light, ordering the pet to use the level 8 dragon technique, Clear Fire and Earth Breath, forming the energy into a purple ball shape and preparing to shoot forward. Will Tanfong raise his sword and point at Hua Kuang's face? "Do you dare to accept this afternoon from me?" To Bin's number 1 disciple, if he refused, he would lose face and his teacher would only be buried in the soil. Hua Kuang waved his hand forward, ordering the Dark Dragon Dog to fly forward. What is the Dark Dragon Dog that is strengthened by the fearless Hua Kuang? There was a loud bang that shook the heavens and earth when the shield of the Dark Dragon Dog directly touched the earth-colored sphere of bright inflammation and earth. When Tanfong saw that Hua Kuang looked down on him like that, he used strong moves but he only used defensive moves. In response, I couldn't help but get so angry that my face turned into a monkey's ass. I am a high-level dragon skill that is used to penetrate walls and land, but this reckless guy just jumped in and ate enough. Hua cackled and smiled provocatively. At this level, it would be difficult for Tanfong to pull out the feathers of the Dark Dragon Dog. What could he say to make him attack? Suddenly there was a snap sound. Did Tan Fong kick the wind and rush forward with his sword? Letting the two pets lock each other, this guy wants to lose enough with Hua Kuang so he can shut his mouth and not provoke him anymore. Lu Tanfong thought that Hua Kuang had been suppressed by the dragon's power, making it difficult for him to move. He rushed to where he was, held out his sword, and wanted to hit him to see if his intestines were as long as a normal person's. True to his name, Hua Kuang is not afraid of the incoming long sword, but directs his boredom towards the sharp tip of the sword. He laughed. If I run away, I'll change my name to Hua Hen or Hua Naim. Lu Tanfong's long sword could never touch Hua Kuang's body, because when it hit the giant energy membrane covering his body, it broke in half like hitting a steel wall. Even in his wildest dreams, Tanfong would not have thought that the swordsmanship he was always proud of would be shattered by Hua Kuang, who only used his stubbornness to attack. The dark heart of the fighting dog did not forget to add the wind spirit of joy and rage, the Gyre protection layer, the hard armor shield, the storm thunder armor and the blood wind battle armor for Hua Kuang. Hua Kuang laughed hysterically, raised his big fist and punched Lu Tanfong straight in the face. In Fu Quoc, soldiers could still be heard. The wind blew, Lu Tanfong roared, hitting the owner to look at the dog's face. Being playful is your nature, punching someone until it hurts and not forgetting to joke around. How? Do you want me to get harder for you to see? One punch contained all of Hua Kuang's energy, causing Lu Tanfong to roll in the air for several times, then fall face down on the ground. Hua Kuang looked at Lu Tanfong dragging himself on the ground and looked very happy. Are there any other hidden tricks? Hurry and bring it out for me to see. Otherwise you won't have a chance to show off anymore. Lu Tanfong stood up, his face angry and unwilling, gritting his teeth and speaking. This is due to the rules. The competition is only limited to wearing secret treasures that are level 6. Otherwise my sword would have fallen to the ground. Dark Hack Long Dark Dragon felt its owner's call, its eyes widened, it left the place where it was arguing with the Dark Dragon Dog, and ran to stand behind Lu Tanfong. Lu Tanfong immediately jumped back, standing on Min Hack Long's head. But when Hua Kuang saw that, he thought that Lu Tanfong couldn't beat him, so he played the card, then exclaimed, "Over there, you just slapped the demon and already run away?" Immediately after that, Hack Long lightly bounced his legs and pushed himself up. In an instant, a roar sent Lu Tanfong flying into mid-air. Don't be too happy yet. Dark Hack Long flew to a high place above, spread his front legs as wide as a person's arms, accumulating energy into a super huge dark vortex. Lu Tanfong's blue veins are full of boredom, his face is fierce and he shouts, "If you're good, then continue this trick of mine. Then talk about it while you're still alive." Tu Lang Wei was constantly comparing moves with Tan Thu Thien, and also realized that something unusual was happening on the other side. Unexpectedly, it was a level 9 secret skill of the undead system, with death at the same time. Standing in the distance, fighting with Tan Thu Thien, he also felt that terrible energy wave coming. Tan Thu Thien saw that his opponent was a little distracted, immediately grasped the opportunity to wildly swing the long spear in his hand, and sneered and asked, "Why do you look so panicked? Are you scared? Or let me say the earth and dragon cover. Can I carry it for you?" Tu Lang Wei was able to avoid several consecutive stabs from him, then he kicked him with a swipe of his foot, causing him to have to lean down on his spear to escape. "You should take care of yourself. Your 2 weak dragons are afraid of protecting themselves, not to mention being powerful." But Tan Thu Thien did not let these words shake him. He jumped up, raised his spear and counterattacked towards Tu Lang Wei. "I see if your beastly heart will turn into a tooth-shaped set for my dragon first, then yes." The noise in the stands grew louder and louder. The duel between Tu Lang Wei and Tan Thu Thien has been going on for a while now, with neither side losing to the other side. The strength that Tu Lang Wei showed made them feel scared. They did not expect that a commoner girl would be able to fight with the famous young master in an inconclusive battle. Their fighting power surpasses that of ordinary people, making them admire. At the same time, the audience also attentively watched as death and destruction were about to accumulate enough energy to complete. Everyone speculates that this move can at least blow away nearly half of the island. Sure enough, very quickly, the dark dragon had accumulated enough energy into its super huge dark purple ball and threw it downwards. The fruit moves very quickly. Compared to Hua Kuang and the singer Long Kuyan standing below, the size is truly extremely different. But Hua Kuang did not panic at all. He jumped up and sang Long Kuyan, laughing and giving orders. Come on, let's sing about Long Kuyan, use that technique to deal with it. Hat Sing Long Kuyan immediately understood and let out a low growl from his throat to show that he understood. Immediately after that, he sang Long Kuyan, did not retreat, but used all four legs to rush straight to where the death ball was. Haunted Long Kuyan was jumping in midair and suddenly stopped in the middle, keeping a distance from the face of death. Casting Min Hung's killing field, creating the shadow of a magic form, from the lightning energy that covers its entire body. Death collided face to face with the Min Hung thunderbolt, and the giant killing abyss exploded with a terrifying sound like someone dropping a nuclear bomb. The place where the two streams of force collided continuously emitted thunder, making the sky and earth sound like two titans were fighting. Very quickly, the huge mass of energy touched the place where Min Hung's lightning hit, and the killing abyss disappeared there. The same-faced death was suddenly struck by the murderous abyss of Min Hung and disappeared into clouds of cool air in the air. Losing the obstacle, the dark dragon dog quickly rushed towards the dark dragon. The audience saw this scene and couldn't stop talking. They couldn't imagine that the same death could be defeated so easily. And even the skill of singing Dark Dragon Dog is so new that no one has ever heard of it. The way the skill is used is also very different, just touching it will vanish like dust. Even level 9 skills were easily swallowed. Hua Kuang rides on his singing Dark Dragon Dog and laughs like a villain. Ho 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 is indeed the pet that my master raised. Of course you have never seen it before. Hearing that, Lu Tanfang couldn't help but look frightened. He was completely unimaginable. What kind of master could cultivate such a terrifying war pet? Who is your master? He asked in fear. Hua Kuang commanded. The dark dragon dog once again used the lightning killing area, ran straight to and encountered the dark dragon. In Lu Tanfang's horror, he only heard Hua Kuang speak arrogantly. Remember, my master is the owner of the famous mischievous pet shop, Tabin. The dark dragon dog tore through the wind and rushed away, leaving behind the dark black dragon that was killed by lightning. Please ease your head into the wind. Riding on a vase to sing a cool, dragon dog, Hua Kuang successfully played the role of a villain, gently plucking the head of the dark singing dragon, even laughing to show off his prestige. Lu Tanfang was surprised and thought to himself, this person is Tabin's student and has such strength. So is the person who taught Hua Kuang the owner of the small peach gas store. He sneered coldly, even though he was eliminated here, Tabin was to Lang Nguyen's brother. Using the Duong family's immovable glass would certainly not lead to a peaceful life. Just take it slow and watch the good show. Hua Kuang stole 148 points from the young master of the Willow family, rode on the back of a dark dragon dog, looked at the two rich guys that his father had paved the way for, and reached the top 10, nonchalantly telling everyone to go away with that guy. They clasped their hands and bowed to Hua Kuang as if they saw the patriarch appearing. Don't kill him. My old man will give you a lot of money. The problem is what to say. Don't touch the money because Hua Kuang, there is plenty to spare. The most important thing is that thing. The dark dragon dog lightly scratched it once connected those two guys from the Seville, then hit the ground without any problems. Hua Kuang snorted, these two incompetent and useless people were nominated for the exam all the way here. The watching audience couldn't help but marvel at Hua Kuang's convincing strength. If young Master Lu couldn't compete with the student of pet shop owner Tin Nin, it would be difficult for Phi Pham Pet Shop to open. There was a lot of commotion. Before going to Phi Pham store, now going to Tiu Dao Chi seems more trustworthy. When Dong Min Tung saw Lu Tanfang being publicly knocked on the head by Hua Kuang in front of everyone, he felt a little embarrassed and asked him softly if he did so because he was afraid that the four great families would not forgive him, afraid that in the days to come it would be difficult to live in peace. Fine. Tabin pursed his lips and simply said, he wanted to cause chaos like that. The reason Hua Kuang was able to play the antagonist role so well this time was because he personally gave him the dark dragon dog before entering the competition round. Teacher, let me borrow your 10-point battle pet. Are you dreaming? Bin waved his fingers. It's not a dream. Lending pets is my store's service. Please give me money to scoop porridge. Hua Kuang looked at the dark dragon dog very excitedly, but at that time he was a bit shy. Would such a strong pet be allowed to ride? I'm afraid it'll knock him a few meters away. Don't worry, he now has both parties sign a temporary contract of equivalent rank. He waved his hand towards the dark dragon dog. Although its level 9 combat power was extremely limited, its level was only level 7. With level 6 energy like Hua Kuang, he was more than capable. Hearing that he could use it, Hua Kuang clasped his hands together to thank Bin, smiled and said, Dear Long Kuyan, my dear singer, on this day of good fate, please give me some of the halo from the 10 directions of the Buddha. Bin saw that Hua Kuang looked like he was about to kneel, so he smiled and reduced it for him. From the outside looking in, singing Long Kuyan is just Hua Kuang's battle pet. Being hesitant like that is unnecessary. When competing, no matter how talented you are, just show it off. His eyes flashed dangerously. Rarely did he have a good advertising opportunity like this elite tournament. On the occasion of clearing other people's doubts about the store, let's go. While Hua Kuang successfully beheaded Lu Tanfang and Wise Pet Beast, Lang Wei and Tan Thu Thin's battle still had not ended. The audience looked up and wondered what it was that they had never seen before. The moon dragon's silver mist rose into the air, emitting a stream of white light from its mouth. Behind him also appeared the shape of a faceless giant, like a shadow carrying a splendid crown and spreading its wings. That bright white shape became increasingly larger, turning into a giant, the image of the thunder god, slowly expanding its hand to form a large bow aimed at the target. The match was so tense, the host immediately commented, This thunder god is targeting the pet of player Tan Thu Thin, with a skill that has never appeared before the public. Tan Thu Thin stood on the ground trying to resist the terrible oppressive feeling from the thunder god, wanting to blow Wei away. Quickly raised his hand to open 2 summoning spaces to deal with it. Both star pets stepping out to protect Wei reached strategy level 9. One is Tihojia, shaped like a star-shaped tree, specializing in healing. The other is a red-colored demon with armor and claws all over its body, shaped like a devil appearing. The host's excited and worried voice rang out. Blood Demon Tin Ti was considered the most difficult to tame and brutal demon pet among the level 9 pets. Its strategy is undeniably strong, but it comes with the risk of a situation of biting back at its owner. It and the Hellwish Dragon Beast are often classified as ferocious beasts. Instead of war pets, they listen to the battle pet master. The Silver Mist Star Dragon let out a low roar, and the image of the thunder god with wings shooting giant arrows rushed forward, actively attacking. The sound of the arrow leaving the bow was deafening, as if it wanted to destroy heaven and earth. Even if Tan Thu Thin was stupid, he knew that standing in front of that arrow was like dying, so he quickly signaled to the Thunderfire Han Dragon Beast and Tihojia. And the Great Earth Dragon stepped forward to protect him. Responding to him, the Thunderfire Khan Dragon Beast opened its mouth and released a red dragon blood war pepper that surrounded it. The fake Guardian created a green shield on the left, and the Great Earth Dragon had a golden Guardian on the right. It's truly a highly effective combination. The host also had to praise it. 3 level 9 defense skills appeared at the same time in just a blink of an eye, showing that player Tan Thu Thin's strength is not average. Lang Wei was in a state of unified beast man, softly whispering contemptuously, it was useless. With a whooshing sound, the god-defining lightning bolt arrow swept through and penetrated the combined defense layer, like the colors of the rainbow. The 3 war ghouls made a terrible explosion. Beat all 3 pet beasts inside each piece to pieces, just like a watermelon being slashed in a ninja fruit. Tan Thu Thin saw both fear and confusion. He didn't understand what was going on, why the level 9 defense skill didn't work. He did not dare to delay, and quickly ordered the blood demon to come forward and stop. This humanoid pet beast stood firmly on both legs, using the 2 blades on its arms to directly block the incoming divine arrow. Sure enough, The blood essence demon had real power, able to resist and block the arrow even if pushed back. It growled in its throat, where it came into contact with the wind god thunderbolt arrow. It flashed as if emitting sparks, then roared with a bloody sound of demonic fire, swung its hands strongly, and decisively knocked the wind god thunderbolt aside. The lightning wolf arrow hit the ground with a bang that shook the entire forest. As to Lang Wei looked at the continuous accumulation of points above her head, she was surprised that it was a double win. Didn't defeat Tan Thu Thien but deified the thunder arrow, fell down and sent 36 people awake from their dreams, adding 36 points to Lang Wei. Total score nearly 100. Seeing such a big commotion, the MC shouted excitedly, the pulling technique was terrible. The ghost-like form penetrates level 9 defensive skills, and also wipes out areas it touches, making it difficult to defend against. Luckily, the blood essence demon, belonging to the top level 9 pet beasts, was able to avoid this attack. It was standing there looking at the two swords in its hands, red like iron in a fire, not knowing if they would melt in a moment or not. Tan Thu Thien gritted his teeth. The move just now was probably Su Lang Wei's entire strength. This skill is quite good, but I have successfully neutralized it. Immediately after that, Wei ordered the bloody demon to use the lightning skill. As soon as he finished speaking, with a whooshing sound, he saw the demon's bloody body, slightly shaking, and before he could blink, he was standing behind Lang Wei. With extraordinary speed and strength, it raised its claws, intending to kill her immediately. It was clear that both sides were commanding their pets, aiming at the battle pet master to finish them off, not wanting to leave behind any fire. The sharp white claws suddenly touched a hard block of ice from the chest of the blood demon, causing him to momentarily freeze, wondering where Lang Wei had gone. Tan Thu Thien squinted his eyes to look more closely, temporarily not realizing what was in front of him. Bang! An explosion rang out. The ice shoe layer that had just protected Lang Wei shattered and fell to the ground. It was the level 9 ice goddess protector that had just protected Su Lang Wei. Your blood essence demon is very fast, almost catching up with the little white. Before he could finish his sentence, behind the blood essence demon clan there was already a silver frost moon named Wei Long coming from who knows when. The dragon roared angrily, without waiting. The blood demon reacted. The silver mist moon Wei dragon opened its giant mouth with eyes shining with a cold light, and slashed at Tan Thu Thien's pet beast, swallowing it into its stomach without any exception. Lang Wei stood in a layer of ice that gradually melts coldly, said to Tan Thu Thien. The little angel's arrow just now was a probe. What are you going to do now? When Tan Thu Thien doubtfully raised his head to look, countless silhouettes appeared on all four sides of him, of the god of lightning aiming arrows at him. Previously, even fighting against an arrow was very difficult, but now at a glance the situation immediately fell into despair. Immediately afterwards, in the air, there was a loud noise. The forms of thunder gods surrounding Tan Thu Thien simultaneously let go, letting the arrows fly away. The place where Tan Thu Thien had just stood emitted a sound that cracked the ground, drowning out the desperate screams of the young master of the Tan family. One arrow has already hit the sky. Here are 5 wind gods shooting at once. Does Tan Thu Thien still have a chance? Even though Tan Thu Thien was reincarnated and pushed back, he did not expect to let all 3 of his high-level pets, Thunder Fire Khan Dragon Beast, Tai Ho Jia and Dai Dia Siu Long, create a protective shield, but stood in front of the deified Thunderbolt arrow. It looks like a cheap toy. Before he could calm down, he immediately ate several large arrows surrounding him on all sides and logged out of the server. The situation in the hunting contest became more and more intense when the score of the top players did not stop at 100, but 200. Following Hua Kuang is Lang Wei, who received 105 points for himself, and is now standing upright in front of the silver mist of the moon dragon, roaring with a majestic voice that resonates in the sky. Could it be that one is first and one is second and no one can stop them? Of course not. Hearing that Tan Thu Thien and Lu Tanfang were kicked out of the server, the young masters of the 2 remaining great families smiled. Anyway, they hated those Watts. If they despised their enemies, they would die. We will be the ones to kill those 2 kids. With the momentum to advance, the silver mist of the moon dragon and the moon haunted the Long Kuyan, sweeping away the remaining weak enemies. Wherever the white dragon flew, it spewed thick ice and frozen snow, while the black dog opened its defenses as if going crazy, rushing to knock down all the people who couldn't keep up. Tu Langwei rode on a white dragon and shouted loudly towards Hua Kuang. Hey, I'll bombard the air, you go down and collect a batch of the remaining people. The medic howled and swept away was Hua Kuang's joy. He immediately agreed, enthusiastically controlling the Long Kuyan song like a high-speed tank, seeing someone and crushing that person. The male MC opened the miniature map of the island and introduced to the audience that both players Hua Kuang and Tu Langwei were going from the northeast of the island to the southwest, gradually approaching the place where the second young master was. Muck Deep's house at a terrifying speed. So I don't know how will the young owner of the two houses, Muck Deep, deal with this or just sit back and die. Deep Long Thien did not expect that the two boys from his hometown would break the wind or anything, but would come here so quickly, with obvious worry on their faces. Poking your nose into gain face, grumbling and cursing because this competition is restricted from bringing in high-level secret treasures. Muck Tran was also sweating. He hummed and replied that if he had a secret treasure, he would have had a duel. At the end of the sentence, the two people parted ways. Instead of waiting for the two people, Tu Langwei and Hua Kuang, to arrive first, Deep Long Thien ran to the north, while Muck Tran turned to the south. Don't say Tu Langwei and Hua Kuang were mentally prepared to fight. Even everyone watching was surprised to see the two young masters choosing marriage as the best option. Wherever the moon dragon's silver mist swept through, it left beautiful, lifelike frozen statues. From 1,000 survivors on the battlefield, there are now only 5 left. Just in case that's the number of people needed to advance to the next round. The host shouted loudly, the nightmare officially ended, congratulating the 5 players who entered the final round at Longjiang City Base. Instead of the initial expectation that each young master of a big family would get 100 points to get into the next round, now everyone has to live with just over 100 points, while there are 2 losers out there ranked much higher. Even though he was angry with his boss, when he was sent out of the game map, Deep Long Thien had 112 points and Muck Tran had 119 points and still felt lucky not to be kicked out of the qualifying round. Chao Van with 149 points had not been touched until now. Degree, just stay silent and say nothing. Hua Crazy at this time had 327 points and was the leader of the round, standing silently next to singing Dark Dragon Dog waiting to be teleported out. Not far away is Tu Langwei with 289 points, ranked second in the top 5. Invite the players to leave the sleeping compartment to warm up their tendons and muscles. If they do not adapt, please inform the staff about side effects to get help. The host's voice rang out excitedly, because this year's situation was more dramatic and better than other years' tournaments, with the young master of the big family always blatantly entering the next round. Hua Kuang laughed excitedly and danced in front of Tu Langwei. Don't you hear anything? We have reached the final round. While she frowned in thought, unable to let her guard down, there was still one final round waiting for us to confront the 3 young masters. Hua Kuang is not afraid of heaven or earth. He laughed and said what business those 3 guys can do. We each get a first prize and a second prize. Hua Kuang thought about punching the young masters and smiled with his eyes wide open. At that point, I'll take care of one guy, you'll take care of one guy, then we'll punch the 3rd guy together. After I admit defeat, you'll be the champion. Tu Langwei was bored and didn't bother to fix it. You're so crazy. Not knowing where this energy of his came from, Hua Kuang just let Tu Langwei hold his head in his hands and continued talking endlessly. Tonight I invite everyone to come to the largest entertainment area in the city to relax. Looking at one child, he looked like he was having a seizure and jumping everywhere. The other child looked like he was holding his head in pain and worrying. He couldn't go anywhere. Oh God. Please let me go home to practice, it's so stressful. Tan Thien Thien and Lu Tanfong smacked their lips. They really didn't expect to lose to these 2 in the tournament. Raising his head to see 2 new opponents being beaten by him, Hua Kuang took a stance and prepared to fight. Tu Langwei also stood up and did not consider his intentions. Unexpectedly, Tan Thu Thien approached with very pleasant words, saying that he was here to congratulate the two of them on entering the inner circle, by the way, just to be friends and nothing else. Her magic move Thunderwolf Arrow was very interesting. I lost but I was very impressed. I hope to be able to have a friendly match with her again in the future. Seeing this warm expression with her own eyes, To Lang Wei did not believe it. She crossed her arms to be wary and asked what it means to be close. Is it up to everyone to take care of me or should I let you punch me? Chin Thu Thien laughed, haha, this girl is really interesting. Explain. I originally had no intention of winning the championship of this elite tournament. My goal is the Martial Arts Academy. Martial Arts Academy? Is the #1 student in the Asian region. With such a big goal already out of this chicken coop at Longjiang base, it's reasonable to say there's no need for a championship award. On the other side, the two people talked politely to each other. Hua Kuang heard that they were coming to be close, so he put his arm around Lu Tanfang's shoulder and smiled, haha, fighting with you was also very refreshing. I'll have time to fight again tomorrow. Contrary to Tan Thu Thien's friendly appearance, Lu Tanfang's veins were full of boredom. Whoever has the time to go have a friendly fight with a bull like you, will gore and gore no matter if they're red or blue. He didn't even say anything about bringing a good pet, defeating someone, and then going out to hug his boss's shoulders like it was true. Hua Kuang saw that this guy's face was purple, so he didn't even ask why he didn't look so good. Lu Tanfang simply replied with 3 words, bitten by a dog, then waved his hand and said he had something to do so he should go first, leaving the other 3 people alone to feel whatever they felt. Suddenly a person ran quickly towards Lu Tanfang, calling out, Master, please calm down. It turned out to be Lu Win, the owner of Phi Pham Pet Shop. He clasped his hands and bowed, choosing his words carefully so as not to offend young Master Lu. This time the other store person one was just a little lucky, I still had a new plan in hand. Go away, there was a loud slapping sound. As soon as Lu Tanfang heard that, he stretched out his hand and punched Lu Win's cheek, not forgetting to ask with his eyes what kind of strength the little peach gas had that someone would dare to poke them. If you do anything that implicates our family, I will drag your head out and ask for your crime. The match has ended but there are still many people in the stands. The whispers of the Duong family disciples sounded urgent. The move that To Lang Wei performed was absolutely unmistakable. It was to immobilize Lu Li Tan, quickly returned to report to the family. To Lang Wei entered the top 5 people of the tournament, which is the best achievement in the history of Fuang Sun Academy. Dong Min Tung by the way wanted to spend some time with To Bin. Who would have thought that his watch displayed the information of Exa Tam? He rarely uses text messages, but usually waits until we meet to report. There must be something important. He doesn't look at Dong Min Tung and replies that he's not free. It was indeed a secret report about the Duong family's situation. Master, our family has just had an internal report about the young lady using the Qing estate Lu Li. I'm afraid it will be troublesome. Even though I have blocked the news, I would like to ask how we should handle it. It's true that you can't avoid it forever, and when the Duong family sniffs out some news about Duong Nhu Yen, block the news for a few more days and then let it go. This matter is too big for you to block alone. It will be blocked by someone else if you have doubts. I'll take care of the rest. He texted the snake heart like that and then disappeared from the tournament stands. Every afternoon, the Chaojia mansion is filled with disciples practicing martial arts in the yard. Contrary to the seriousness of their training, To Bin slowly walked up behind Chao Vong Quan, who was commanding the soldiers to practice. He glanced over and immediately told everyone to stop practicing. Patriarch Chao Jia had ordered everyone to say hello when they saw To Bin. The group of barbarians below obeyed the orders and shouted hello to Boss Tu, but the sound of wine being pounded was scattered. Each guy looked in a different direction. His disgusted attitude was clearly due to being forced to say hello. He looked at the situation and understood where the problem lay. Even though the patriarch had sworn loyalty to him in exchange for benefits, the others were simple on the surface but opposed in their hearts. Their level of loyalty was not that high, and they would have time to teach them again in the future. If you don't like it then don't call, I came here just to see the patriarch. The leader waved his hand and called a nearby soldier, telling him to lead him to the patriarch. The jade teacup was steaming and fragrant. The voice of the Chow family's patriarch slowly asked him, who was usually busy with thousands of things, why did he have time to visit today? He hadn't gotten into the main business yet. He asked when the Chow family signed a contract to train more than 100 high-end pets with his elite pet store. What was the result? The Chow patriarch stretched his eyebrows. When he mentioned it, he was very happy because the results were very good. It could be said that any pet we brought to the precious shop, when they returned, was like a flock of eagles and a flock of chickens, distinctly different. If that's the case, why did I see Chow Vong Quan just now, training soldiers like training a blind group to see how to dance? It doesn't look like the efficiency has been improved at all. The Chow clan leader stroked his beard, because these 100 orders were only for high-ranking members of the Chow family, so how could the subordinates receive such good things? I see, a low-level servant who only fights with his hands and feet doesn't get any benefit. No wonder Chow Vong Quan and his soldiers don't look at him happily at all. He continued asking, did you guys watch the elite tournament yesterday? Yes, the performance of his sister and his student was so outstanding that they pushed both young masters to the bottom of society. Thinking about the lightning technique that Silver Mist Moon Dragon performed, the Chow family patriarch couldn't help but hesitate. It was truly a lightning technique that had never been seen before, making the audience overwhelmed. Many of Chow Vong Quan's disciples recorded the events, hoping that one day they could also learn such wonderful divine skills. He stood up immediately. This was exactly what he needed. He told Chow Vong Quan to call their main pet beast out here. The patriarch didn't understand what he wanted to do. Chow Vong Quan was now training martial arts, so why would he bring out his pet beast? Discussing welfare, what else can we do? To Bin smiled, replied only that, then turned and walked out. That afternoon, To Bin went to the Chow family to discuss matters, met the Chow Vong Quan training soldiers in the yard, saw the man who had been instructed by the patriarch to greet him properly, but these soldiers showed an unpleasant and disdainful attitude on their faces, that was clear. Clearly didn't look at him at all. If so, we must let them know how to submit to power. The Chow family has a special type of secret treasure used in practice called mysterious puzzle, shaped like a stone snake full of scales, holding a mirror in its mouth. What practitioners need to do is simply to strike a punch towards it. In the Chow family's training arena, there are many of these secret treasures, enough for many people to use at the same time. Inflammation, a fiery flame flared up and shot straight at one of the secret treasures arranged there. The riddle's secret treasure, when it collides with the inflammation, immediately glows with a pale blue light that covers its entire shape, and at the same time emits a round blue shield that covers the entire stone secret treasure inside. Very gently, 7 blue stripes appeared on the tail of this snake-shaped secret treasure, emitting a gentle light, making the young man who had just controlled the pet beast angry and extremely happy. The 7-level green light means that the fighting power of his pet beast Shi Yan has reached intermediate level 7. The blue-haired young man stood next to him with his bowl down and smirked. He was only a 7th level middle class, so look at me. His lightning cloud beast is shaped like a bull trained only for combat, with large horns and extremely sharp fangs. From its mouth flashed the light of thunder, and in space because of its appearance, a continuous rustling sound was emitted. The purple lightning bolt of the Thundermark beast is a dazzling purple light column that shoots straight towards the puzzle secret treasure in front of him. Similar to when he noticed the beloved skill of the toilet, the lightning broke and made a loud bang with the light blue barrier. 8 orange stripes appeared right on its pointed tail, a sign that the pet skill's combat power had reached the upper level of level 8. The people in the room saw this and whispered to each other. Last month, they were only at level 8. How could they advance so quickly? Looking at the blue-haired young man who was one of the sons of a branch of the Chow family, the middle-aged uncle couldn't help but feel slightly shy. At just this age, he already had a pet that had reached level 8 combat power, so a few more years of climbing to the position of guardian was not a problem. He heard people praising him, but he showed the appearance of even being superior, saying that the other person had a better chance of becoming a Dharma protector. If he didn't believe it, he should take advantage of his favored skill to come up with a trick. But the other person didn't accept it, just clasped his hands politely and said that at this age there was no breakthrough. I'm afraid I'll be stuck here for the rest of my life. Based on the speed of this young man, he will soon surpass him. When the tide came, he waved his hand and laughed, saying that the other person knew so well, so he should retire early, and then why would he be here with the children? The pet he asked to send went to that small peach gas store, and his combat power increased tremendously. Just periodically take it to the store like people take animals to the spa, then calmly become a master battle pet. It's just that I've only been to my shop a few times. Is it fast to be able to advance to a few small realms in a month? To Bin's faint voice spoke up. He and the Chow clan entered the training room. He didn't pay much attention to this rhyme, just told Chow Vong Quan to quickly line up and call out the main battle pet for boss to check. With a yes, Chow Vong Quan ordered his subordinates to stand in horizontal rows, each opening the summoning space to summon a battle pet, with their strongest fighting power. All shapes and sizes from dragons to bears, belonging to many fighting systems such as wind, thunder, earth, fire, water, and various types. Some children's enlightenment bar is almost full, while others only have 1 or 2 lines. Chow Vong Quan summoned a pet beast with a humanoid shape, wearing a large rosary around his neck, holding a sword in his hand, with an aura like that of a Satan entering a demon. He crossed his arms and tilted his chin towards Bin. See, our spirit is quite full. He didn't say anything about strength. He looked at the familiar sound on the pet beast's head and said that every animal looked ferocious. What he was most worried about was whether it was because of the bad luck of these people, or because the pet had too much enlightenment and didn't seem to have any potential. He glanced at the other pets, then was attracted by an ancient beast of level 8 combat power below the young man who was standing solemnly next to him. This ancient beast has a gentler appearance than the others, both like a snail from the time when dinosaurs were still alive and like a mature tree. This ancient beast of yours belongs to the Flora system, is currently level 7, and its forte is healing ability. However, being used as a main battle pet does not seem to be lacking in combat power. The other boy heard people asking about his pet and excitedly said that he wanted to train it into a multi-purpose pet that could attack and heal, and could also go to the front line to protect his teammates. The guy with the pineapple snout looked at that country-like excitement, curled his lips and smiled contemptuously. That's very nice. That ancient beast going into battle is not as good as an attack beast, and retreating to the rear is not as good as a healing beast. If you want to be kicked out of the team, you can be kicked out of the team. Why does boss to care about it? Come see my Loy Van Beast. Bin didn't care about Pineapple Snout's words. He only saw a pet beast that could both attack and heal really well, a really interesting combination. He touched his hand on the pet beast's head, engraving the 993rd Path of Thunder, the ancient Teng Long Ba. From above the pet beast's head radiated a beam of brilliant lightning, and the wind swirled around it. If you use your hand to engrave a pet skill, can you do it yourself like that? The Chow family patriarch had never seen this before. Even if he was a level 9 trainer, he couldn't do it. When he was finished, he stood up and said that he had just given the beast a new pet skill in the combination that the young man wanted. Come try its healing and attacking abilities. The young man was knocked to the ground by the wind from the engraved seal. Hearing him say that, he was confused and had a hard time understanding what a pet skill was. Besides, there was no one here who was injured. How could he use his healing ability? That's easy, let's suppress the devil with the first magic formula. Bin waved his hand towards the green coconut muzzle. Before he could understand anything, he heard a loud noise in his head. A stream of power shot through his left armpit, blowing everything away. All the extra growth from my armpit. My arm. He hugged his bleeding shoulder and screamed in pain, making him cry. The beast and its owner didn't know what to say. Saying no one was injured, he cut off an arm to make a difference. And what's with this boss too? Cutting off someone's hand and then turning around to look at the two masters and servants laughing. Unable to carry out treatment, he had to order the beast to use the Dragon Ba. The beast doesn't know what it can do yet. It looks 3 parts confused and 7 parts confused. Its eyes release a stream of lightning that shoots straight forward, like a fierce charging lightning dragon. To the hair of the coconut snout. He was scared to death and screamed, "Oh my God, someone save me. If I touch this lightning dragon, I will turn into ashes." He shouted in advance just in case. But when the lightning dragon passed by, it didn't hurt at all. The wound stopped bleeding and closed immediately. The injured area's skin had lines like thorny tree roots emerging from it. He clearly felt the cut area as if something was moving inside his muscle layer. "Oh, my hand. Oh, look." A tiny hand grew from his armpit, causing him to freeze in confusion. "It doesn't seem to hurt at all. Is it possible to grow back your whole arm without pain?" The witnesses were all shocked. Can a broken hand still regenerate so smoothly? Isn't that the only healing technique a level 8 pet beast can do? After Loi Long used the ancient move Dang Long Ba to repair his hand, he let the other guy continue to work on the secret treasure hook, and there was a loud rumbling sound. The secret treasure's entire stone body cracked open, emitting blue-white light from lightning. Choang. The top-quality secret treasure shattered in the blink of an eye. This secret treasure broke completely, proving that the pet skill had reached the ultimate level 8 or higher. The Chao clan leader and Chao Vong Quan opened their eyes wide in both surprise and panic. Really, in this world there are pets that have both attack and healing abilities, really? Moreover, the way to create new pet skills is too gentle for boss to. Just lifting your hand to lightly touch its head will make this pet's strategy skyrocket. The ancient beast knew that he had just unleashed an earth-shattering move, and suddenly felt that he was handsome, crawling towards his owner who was still stuttering in disbelief. Unexpectedly, one day, the ancient beast would have the ability to terrorize people. To this extent, Bin crossed his arms and looked at the bewildered crowd, adding another sentence. "Based on my power transfer method, this is still not fully effective. His animal neck still needs more practice in the future." The soldiers of Chao Vong Quan's team and even him were wide-eyed and speechless. Such a formidable skill to say you give is too generous. Knowing that, when he put on a fake face to please him, according to him, there was clearly only benefit and no harm. "Is it time to surrender now? Are you being hated?" Chao Vong Quan knelt first, followed by the entire army behind him, kneeling and bowing respectfully, with Bin chanting, "The entire army of the Chao family would die to follow Boss Bin in this life." Very good, the surrender of people's hearts is what he needs, but this quantity is still not enough for him. "In the past few days, everyone who comes to the store where I participate in training will receive a discount. Leave early, don't lose precious time. Are you in such a hurry to take advantage of our Chao Jia's defense system?" The clan leader looked at him and tried to make a sound. Was there a need to be in such a hurry? He looked up and now caught a small dry leaf that had fallen from somewhere. "Patriarch Chao, don't you realize yet? This Longjiang is about to change." On his wrist was the new news from Exatam. The star came to Longjiang City this time to find a way for Nian Bangwei to win the city tournament championship. The 2 monks intend to cooperate with Nian Bangwei, adding others to destroy us in the finals. Please be careful, owner. Receiving news that people from the stars joined forces with other families to win the championship of Longjiang City, crushing the spirit of the Tin Niche pet shop, and the fact that the Duong family discovered that Lang Wei was immobilizing Lu Li. Bin secretly went to Chao Jia to train the pet for a whole day, receiving his loyalty. Absolute success of the Chao family. Finally, the day came for the final match of the Longjiang City Elite Tournament. 4 boys and 1 girl will soon fight together to see who wins this year's championship, representing Longjiang to compete with other bases. As expected, the people who entered the final round were mostly young masters of large families, and those who attended were also famous people who made the audience excited. On the tower reserved for prominent figures with great influence on Longjiang City, there are 7 chairs separate from the crowd. 6/7 of those chairs are occupied by the heads of big families, unknown. Whose is the one in the middle? Sitting on the far left is the head of the Duong Jia branch in Longjiang, Duong Longqian, who is grumbling and cursing at the competition as if telling me to come watch. Next to Longqian Street is the Muk Jia Patriarch, Muck back high, smirking and reminding him that his hot temper must be controlled, as if it affects the competition, it won't be enough for him. Tan Duhoang, the youngest patriarch of the Qin family, among those present, looked very gloomily at the girl standing on stage, not expecting his son to be defeated by Tu Lang Wei. The scrawny old man with the feathers flying out of his face was Lu Thien Tun, the head of the Lu family, clasping his hands in anticipation of seeing how powerful these children were in battle. The head of the Deep family, Deep Vo Kak, crossed his arms as if he didn't care much, but when he came to watch the finals today, he also wanted to know how the kids would fight. Chao Thien Lam, the patriarch of the Chao Jia family, said nothing. Whoever wins, let me go to sleep. Suddenly, many footsteps appeared from behind, covered in metal rumbles and the hard-to-recognize sound of soft-soled shoes. A group of 4 people dressed differently walked among the crowd of satellites without apologizing for keeping everyone waiting. When the light on the tower illuminated Nyan Bangwei's face, it was clear that she was still very young, wearing all the equipment of the stars, her cold face approaching to allow the competition to begin. Nyan Bangwei has never appeared publicly at major events, from the Longjiang city base to Dong Min Tung, nor does he know who this is, but he can sit on the same level as the great elders of the clans, sometimes even one step higher when sitting in a chair right in the center. Su Bin knew at a glance that this was Nyan Bangwei installed by Thien Kong, and the organizing committee did not hesitate to introduce Nyan Tiu Tu to participate in the city finals as a member of the organization. Tin Kong competes for the championship with the remaining 5 contestants. For our elite tournament to be able to attract the attention of Tin Kong, it is truly a great honor. The crowd below was buzzing endlessly. Isn't that the strongest organization in Asia? Why let outsiders go straight to the finals while the other contestants are fighting each other in the qualifying round? Hey, please speak a little lower. If the stars hear you, your skin will be shaved off. If you're so loud, stay home and watch live, don't come here to make trouble. Due to the change in the number of players, the rules of the final match also changed to accommodate 6 people competing. Tonight 6 players will be divided into 2 teams through drawing to decide against each other. The 2 winners of the 2 teams will meet one last time to determine victory or defeat, while the remaining 4 will stop in the top 6. Tu Lang Wei and Hua Kuang looked up at the team division board. Everyone's faces were clearly worried. You can fight with anyone, but you don't want to fight because Hua Kuang has decided to make it to the finals. Hua Kuang asked to lose and gave the champion to Tu Lang Wei. Team A includes Nyan Bangwei, Muck Tran, and Deep Long Thien fighting each other to find out who is the strongest. Team B consisting of Tu Lang Wei, Hua Kung and Shu Van decided to fight, causing the 2 of them to feel discouraged. They had to slaughter each other before they had actually reached the finals? But the information Tu Bin got from Exitam was completely accurate. The team division had been calculated in advance, and as soon as the results were announced, there were people smiling in the dark. The first round of Nyan Bangwei and Muck Tran. Everyone wants to see how strong this young lady is to boldly enter the finals. Suddenly a hand was raised in the air, and Muck Back High raised his hand and said solemnly, Muck Jia admitted defeat. What? Muck Jia was the champion of the previous match, but now he proactively gives up his right to compete for the championship. Why wouldn't even a big family dare to offend a star? There was a sigh of disappointment from below. Even the city's representative competing with other cities was robbed by outsiders. What else could there be? Is there someone below shouting Hua Kuang's name? Try to win the prize so that Tu Bin will pay attention? Dong Min Tung, sitting next to him, heard it and asked Tu Bin if he knew that federal rule. Although the government has never made it public, the Tin An tournament or other tournaments that take place within the city base are actually just small competitions. For individuals they are an opportunity to advance progress, but for an entire city, it is an opportunity for the entire Lam Tin Federation to join forces. If the base city nourishes strong people, the Federation will attach great importance to it and give them the best. On the contrary, if it is full of weak people, the Federation will not even look at Longjiang with half an eye. If this year's champion of Longjiang City's elite tournament is stolen by an outsider, our city will stop developing, and even go back a few steps compared to normal. Normally, the big clans are good at martial arts, but now when they meet people from Tin Kong, they are treated like beaten dogs. Director Su, please win the championship and show them what the face of Longjiang Base City is. In the second match of Team A, Nyan Bangwei played against Deep Long Thien to choose the strongest person in this team. Bringing in Nyan Bangwei should have been solely for the purpose of the two Mudwang families, but looking at this situation, Deep Vok also immediately understood the intentions of the big families who wanted to borrow Tin Kong's hand to eliminate the pet shop. Playful. Although the price to pay is very high, as long as there is a chance in the future, a big family like Deep Jia has nothing to fear. So Deep Vo Kak raised his hand to accept Deep Jia's defeat immediately, no need to fight. The two great families consecutively admitted defeat. Nyan Bangwei suddenly entered the final match. Deep Vo Kak showed his old face and whispered a few threats to Chao Thien Lam, saying that if Chao Jia wanted to roam around Longjiang in the future, he would tell Chao Van to punch him and say to Lang Wei, "Let's go." Chao Thien Lam did not say a word. He waited until the announcement of the next battle formation, to Lang Win and Chu Van, before stroking his silver constellation and replied, "No, Deep Vo Kak. I also advise you, these stars crow so loud, I'm afraid they themselves will be difficult to protect. If you still want to roam around Longjiang, don't do things like that don't know your strength." "What? Who do you say doesn't know how to measure strength?" Without bothering to answer Deep Vo Kak, Chao Thien Lam gently stroked his bride's forehead and told Chao Jia to admit defeat. Such a match made the audience below excited. If Chao Jia does not reunite with the two Deep Muck families, letting the pet shop's people go straight into the inner circle will have more chances of victory for the Longjiang Bases people. Muck Bak Hai stood up and looked at Chao Thien Lam. How dare this old man openly return to the store to pet mischievous animals? Duang Longqian asked the old man in a harsh voice, should he do it or what? After this match, Yu Chao Jia will be purged. Team B's second match is Hua Kuang into Lang Wei. He will take a step back to see her more clearly, so he can watch her from afar fight Nyan Bangwei. Hua Kuang glared at Lang Wei's upcoming opponent, instructing teacher to Bin, who once said that Miss Tin Kong has never revealed her true strength, and must be very careful when competing. Hua Kuang was not ashamed of his name. He raised his hand to admit defeat, and encouraged Lang Wei to go to the floor and kick the robber's ass out of Longjiang Base. Lang Wei's eyes seemed to be covered with murderous aura, staring at the opponent in front of her. Not only the reputation of the mischievous pet shop, but the reputation of the entire Longjiang Base now rested on her shoulders. Lang Wei jumped towards the ring, amidst the cheers of the spectators at the arena. It's a win or lose battle. Lang Win landed with a fiery spirit. This match could only be won. And now, Lang Nguyen's fight with Nyan Bang Win begins. Looking at the spirited little girl, Nyan Bang Win had not said anything until now, only parted his lips with interest. This girl was so interesting. Nyan Bang Win, despite his very young age, was able to represent the star organization at Longjiang City Base, challenge his strength, sit on a chair and watch Lang Wei land and challenge him with a straight face and just let out a single sentence. Really love it. Many years ago, on the sidewalk of a mainland road, she held out a sausage to a stray cat that had not had anything in its stomach for several days. Her face was indifferent, not like the way a girl was playing with the king. Her father stroked her jet black hair and praised her love for animals. On the other side, the close maid asked her if she wanted to bring this orange cat back. She would go get the cage. No need. Nyan Bangwei stared at the adorable orange cat without looking away. 2 days later he was killed, his whole body covered with wounds, and he died in an extremely miserable condition. Its blood splattered on Nyan Bangwei's beautiful but cold face. The death of an animal did not make her blink even once. Because from birth until adulthood, what Nyan Bangwei hated most in this world were cute things. And Lang Win, standing in front of her, was also praised by her for being so cute. Nyan Bangwei still had red spiritual energy covering his body, gently flying into the air, his eyes still glued to Lang Win below. This final will definitely be very difficult. The judge guarding the arena saw that both were ready and immediately activated the level 9 protective net and announced that the final round result would be 3 wins to 2. In case of surrender or loss of consciousness, it is also considered a loss. That block, and both players are not allowed to bring secret treasures exceeding level 7 into the competition field. The audience below put all their energy into Lang Wei, considering her the face of Longjiang City base. Normally, some people like it and some don't, but now they all wholeheartedly support the mischievous pet shop. Some people even dared to shout loudly and say to kick Tin Kong's baby out of the chicken coop. But before he finished speaking, the person who had just deposed Nyan Bangwei was hit by a beam of purple light aimed straight at the chair he was sitting in, spreading to the 2 seats next to him. A total of 1 move hit 3 seats in the stands, causing the surrounding audience to die. Kill someone? They restrained themselves from screaming, afraid that they would be next. Being so rampant in Longjiang City base, they probably don't care about the residents here at all. Bin's golden eyes glanced towards the place where the loud noise had just come from, looking at Tru Vo Kuk. The person from Tin Kong who initially accompanied Nyan Bangwei had just appeared and killed someone as easily as plucking a leaf. He has achieved the title of Demon Spear, the upper level of 9th level combat power, is collecting purple spiritual energy in his hand, not forgetting to threaten and dare to talk nonsense. He will give all those who gossip a similar ending. Contrary to Zhao Wu's rough appearance, Don Fong Tiu, who had the title Long KY, had the 9th level of combat power, stood next to him and laughed, seeing as if his comrade had just sent a human life into the golden stream. His hands were clasped behind his back, his words sounded soft, but every word was a warning to the people in the stands. This lesson is very valuable. Please sit still so the competition can continue. The people next to him were covered in the blood and gore of the murdered man, shaking like grass. The male MC was dissatisfied that no one raised his voice in the entire competition, so he knew to announce the rules of the competition. There was no first aid in the middle of the match, so the players needed to be cautious in the competition. Why do you want to come here to steal our position? Don't you have the confidence and strength to compete for the championship yourself? Lang Wei's eyes sparkled with displeasure, staring at Nyan Bangwei and asking without hesitation. She didn't answer for a moment. Her whole body had strange red patterns running along her body, as if she was performing a special type of sealing technique. With his right hand, he opened the summoning space but did not take his eyes off his opponent. Lang Wei realized that Nyan Bangwei was using her spiritual power to rush towards her, without calling her pet. With a bang, the red light rushed straight towards Lang Wei. In the blink of an eye, she could only put her hands out to shield the dangerous places on her body from being thrown far away, hitting her back against the field wall. This punch was too sudden and had a power beyond level 6, but Lang Wei stepped out of the crushed wall unharmed, her whole body emitting a purple-blue spiritual energy surrounding her like a chicken egg. Being told that they have bad news, why do they panic and attack? Duang Longqian leaned forward and confirmed that the Duang family's motionless body was being held by Lang Wei. As he performed, he clenched his fists on the chair. Indeed, his subordinate's intelligence was correct. Duang Nhuyen has a high possibility of being in the hands of this group of mischievous pet shop people. His eyes turned black like a corpse with white irises, the hatred and anxiety that had been building up for young Master Tang for so long. After this competition he would definitely end up in the store's crowd. And the shop owner Bin and Dong Min Tung snorted indignantly. Before the referee could even start, he let out a fatal shot. Bin nodded, his fists also tightened. Nyan Bangwei's energy was too strong, not as simple as normal people. Even though she used her motionless body to defend herself and was knocked back that far, her energy must have surpassed level 7. Dong Min Tung looked at him in confusion. A player with combat power above level 6 should not have been qualified to participate in the qualifying round, let alone even enter the final round of fighting. But the appearance of Nyan Bangwei has explained this question. Not to mention the organizers, even the referees are probably all from the Tin Kong organization. Even if they break the rules, they won't interfere. Now seeing Lang Wei being beaten back, he even warned him about running away once. They're all people from Tin Kong, inside and out, so why bother fighting? Let's rest, Mom, to avoid injury, isn't that right? But Tabin did not agree with Dong Min Tung's opinion. It's because they're so stubborn that they have to fight even more and win. On the field, the frosty Tin Wei dragon poked its nose and cold air out of the summoning space, then solemnly walked its entire frozen body into the stands, causing wind and snow to fly in the air. Tu Lang Wei's little white dragon is no longer the teenage dragon it once was. Its entire body is muscular with 2 sets of long horns radiating golden light enough to scare its opponents. Why did the audience below realize that its appearance was completely different from the nightmare hunting cycle, thinking that this dragon had undergone some mutation? Nyan Bang Wei was still opening her eyes wide to attack the opponent's strength when she was directly hit by the silver mist Tin Wei dragon, which fell from the air and knocked her down to the ground below. This piece of meat attack was quite impressive. Just relying on the strength of its body, it was able to suppress Nyan Bang Wei's level 8 upper stomach energy, proving that this silver frost Tin Wei dragon was also something that could not be kept. This attack caused the crowd following the star to open their eyes and watch nervously. Nyan Bang Wei could no longer play. Miss, take this sword. Hon Nyan Bang Wei held an ancient sword pointing its hilt at her. Immediately I saw the hilt of the sword leave the sheath. As soon as the blade met the light, the sword immediately flashed blinding light in all 4 directions, like the sun shining directly into my face. The civilians were watching the match, then flew above the level 9 protective barrier the judges had set up. Any game is fine, just come here. Tu Lang Wei and Tiu Bok will welcome you. Kill her, Tu Lang Wei faintly ordered, letting the pet see her sword touch the screen above, easily piercing it and flying into the area inside the arena, as easily as passed through a thin piece of fish cake, landing on Nyan Bang Wei's raised hand, emitting a thin stream of air that made the air move. Whoosh! One movement of Nyan Bang Wei's hand, whipping a stream of red-white light towards the silver mist moon dragon, plowing the ground in its path, cutting straight into the white dragon's forelimbs with a sweet slash. Skem. I don't know about other swords, but the ability of this level 9 secret treasure, KY Thien, has been proven by the deep red mark on the moon dragon's silver mist wrist. Before wounding the white dragon, the KY Thien sword was famous for killing countless ferocious beasts of level 9 and above. But Dong Min Tung doesn't understand. This sword was originally a secret heirloom of a family in another city. Why did it appear in Nyan Bang Wei's hands today? Don Fong Tiu looked at the situation and smiled in his throat. Being able to force his lady to use the KY Thien sword is considered good, but when the sword comes out, it's game over. Sesame Bean is so angry. Right at the beginning of the match the referee announced a ban on using secret treasures above level 7. Now this stargirl is blatantly holding a level 9 sword and openly fighting. The elite contest is to compete for battle pets, not to show off secret treasures. Even though the audience was afraid of death, they still raised their voices in discontent, infuriating millionaires who turned their essence into a soaring purple longsword. As for the audience, I want some people to log out of the server. Why are they so noble and noble? When did they let these stupid people point out? The only thing the audience can do when they receive this beating is to wait for death, but not to bin. He used the golden black magic body to throw a golden punch and directly hit the sword-turned star energy of Million Infinity, sending it flying aside. He squinted his eyes, glancing at the person who dared to openly oppose someone from the stars. As soon as Tabin withdrew his hand, there was still yellow energy left on his fist. He said in a strong voice that if he wanted to compete, he would compete with the Emperor, just do a little coloring. For him to have to act here, I'm afraid today is not just a match between 2 girls named Wei. From the beginning of the match, the use of secret treasure beyond level 7 was limited. But Nyan Bang Wei did not think so. Directly pulling out a heavenly sword, having level 9 strength and showing very fatherly emotions. And her accomplices are also real men. They are ready to take action against audiences who dare to protest. This kind of shameless behavior completely angered Tabin. Tabin retracted his hands that were still covered with golden black magic demon body, said in a short voice, "Don't overdo things." As if this sentence wasn't just for Zhao Wuji to hear, the competition judges, who were all level 9 and above, looked at the situation and silently evaluated it. This brat blocked Zhao Wu's level 9 upper attack, just like he was picking up a leaf. Clearly not someone to mess with easily. Just consult the Air Force to see how they want to deal with this brat. True Vokuk looked down at Tabin's young face from above, thinking that he was just a young horse eager to fight. Not knowing how much difference in strength he still dared to teach him how to be a human being. Duong Fong Tiu laughed loudly, advising why not to rush into action. But of course I don't defend Tabin, I just want to fight. Nyan Bangwei wins the championship and then do whatever he wants, kill whoever he wants. He huffed and said to the maid Nyan Bangwei, explaining to avoid the audience's discontent about the strange sword appearing in the match. True Quat hugged the sword sheath and said that KY Thien was not considered a secret treasure, because the lady had signed a contract with it, considered it a spiritual pet, and she was the husband who considered the spiritual pet. The daredevils looked at each other. There were indeed many war pet masters who could open up the perception of high-end items into their own war pets. If so, Nyan Bangwei does not violate the rules of the competition, with the star pet's strength not being limited when brought onto the field. The match will continue. But the audience doesn't think so. There's no way that could happen. A sword that awakens to its owner's spirituality is still considered a pet. It's true that one person covers the sky and talks nonsense, says anything, plays dirty properly. With such a powerful weapon, the possibility of her winning is too high. Nyan Bangwei held the sky up high to her face. Her whole body emitted a stream of red spiritual energy surrounding her body, and the sword made everyone burn like a red plateau fire. His eyes flashed fire, merging himself and the sword of the sky into one, wanting to use the power of the sword to open up 3 summoning spaces at once, allowing the 3 fierce redheads behind him to look out. On the left wing is a fat green-purple centipede with a faceless face, called Sad like an insect, level 9 upper. In the middle is a humanoid pet beast that resembles the general on the blackjack card of those who play blackjack, named Divine Beast Fury, average level 9. Finally, there is Tula Ma Long, whose giant dragon head is encased in a layer of armor and has the highest level 9 combat power. This dragon is also considered second in the ranking list of dragons. Looking at them being fierce and aggressive on the field, everyone knew that Nyan Bangwei would use all his strength in this match, not giving his opponent a chance to breathe. Tu Lang Wei does not have that many pet beasts to summon. She stood in front of the silver moon dragon's claws, watching the 3 pet beasts rush towards her. She just raised her hand to her neck and pulled the bracelet, gently developing the symbiotic blood beast form. Tu Lang Wei's whole body radiated a white light typical of Long Wei's silver mist, and 2 horns grew on her head. Even if Nyan Bangwei summoned 100 pet beasts today, her will to win would not waver. Tula Ma Long made the first move, from its armored mouth, curling spiritual energy into a dark purple ball intended to shoot at the opponent. The moon dragon of course did not stand still and wait for death. It released thousands of cold winds from its mouth and shot towards the other side. The white dragon's ice crystal light touched the power of the purple ball and split it to both sides, creating a terrible power that wanted to knock out everything on the stage. Many worm beasts and angry beastmen, as soon as the move ended, seized the opportunity and rushed towards the place where the silver mist star Wei Long wanted to use a 2-for-1 physical attack, but could not get past Tu Lang Wei's bright eyes. Formation 3 was solid, but being separated like that definitely had a gap and she saw it. A swipe of her arm was also the time when the silver mist of Moondragon's crystal was released, causing Wei Loi Kai to attack the 2 beasts, causing them to howl loudly. Ng Yulong technique is unique to the Mu family, and combined with Wei Loi Kai Pan, the effect is several times greater than normal, causing the forelimbs of the gun beasts to be temporarily disabled and unable to be used. Tu Lang Wei did not stop there, immediately, and the pet beast used a thunder condensation arrow, which quickly turned into many human shapes holding arrows aimed at the pet, shooting rapidly. If they can't stop and can only stand and wait for bullets, they will definitely be eliminated from the field. Suddenly, with a loud sound, a bright red light descended from above, knocking out all the arrows on their way, leaving them in tatters. Tu Lang Wei couldn't help but be surprised. How could her arrow be neutralized so easily? Nyan Bangwei is still covered in a layer of red spiritual energy. In the lower sky, he has just cut down the ribbon. The properties of this absolute million windhorse and thunder arrow are very strange. However, the more you use it, the more spiritual energy will be consumed in the future. Weakening. If you hadn't used this move in the previous match, I wouldn't have known how to counter it. It's a pity, toxic is toxic, but it's expired. Her eyes flashed with a murderous light, and her 3 pets rushed forward to attack head-on at the same time. The Tula Ma dragon flew above. 2 beast guns sandwiched on both sides made this formation seem like there were no loopholes at all. Holding out her 2 hands full of sharp claws, Lang Wei actually flew to Nyan Bang Wei first, used her bare arm to block the sword, and fought hand-to-hand with the pet owner on the other side. Let the moon dragon's silver mist continue to create thousands of miles of ice and mist to counteract the purple spiritual energy. To compensate for the lack of supporting beasts, it continuously creates many lightning arrow dolls, above which are not ready to shoot arrows at the group below. Very quickly, Nyan Bang Wei made several cuts onto Lang Wei's body. Looking at the bloody wound, it seemed very deep. Nyan Bang Wei laughed coldly, forcing Lang Wei to retreat more and more. There was no way to get close to support the silver mist star Wei Long. Perhaps this was Nyan Bang Wei's intention. Her number of pet beasts already overwhelmed the white dragon. The more time she bought for the pet owner, the white dragon would become weaker and weaker. It was clear that Lang Wei was being pushed too hard and could only try to dodge the attack but was unable to fight back. The important thing now is to try to avoid injury as much as possible. The armor on her body cannot block KY Thien's sword. Tu Bok's defensive lightning arrows are difficult to use as effectively as before. Right now, being able to defend it from being attacked by 3 of them at once is already a huge effort. The silver mist moon dragon steadily glared at its opponent. It knew that it was difficult to defeat 3, so it was very cautious while attacking and not getting hit. Lang Wei, while avoiding the attack, glanced at the pet beast, used voice transmission to order the silver mist crystal Wei Long to rush up and capture them. The time had come. Divine Transformation Skill Level 8, Divine Touch. From the moon dragon's mouth of silvery mist, a stream of dazzling golden light emitted, like the midday sun sprinkled with golden light, hitting the 3 opponents hard, creating beautiful golden lines in the air. At some point, it spread even further to cover all 3 pet beasts, cutting them into hundreds of pieces. This skill has never been shown to the public, but has the ability to appear, like a wide area laser area ready to cut all living things within range. Blood splattered, if it was another pet, it would probably have died. Ha, my lady's war pet is different from other trash, kid. Chu Vo Kui looked at the situation and chuckled in his heart, not knowing who the opponent was, but the situation had prepared all the most terrible things for Nyan Bang Wei to go into battle, increasing his killing intent. Nyan Bang Wei pulled away from Lang Wei, glared at his 3 pets for a second, immediately influencing them to fiercely rush towards the silver mist star Wei Long, ignoring the fact that he had just been torn apart and his whole body was in pain. Painful. Her methods are too cruel. She doesn't care about the injury or death of the war pet, just attack her and let her live or die. It is said that winning 2 matches in 3 is the championship prize, but it seems that Nyan Bang Wei does not like losing even 1 match. Lang Wei had to use all her fighting power to deal with it, opening up more summoning space to call Huyan DM beasts to support. As soon as he left the summoning space, Lang Wei ordered the snowball to use the fire dragon's fist to explode, mainly wanting his side to stand firm, while the silver mist crystal Wei dragon dealt with the 3 beasts. But Nyan Bang Wei was not afraid because of that. She rushed towards Lang Wei, parted her lips and snorted coldly. What Lang Wei could think of, she could also think of. Huyan DM beast is best at using dream illusions. This is not its true self in front of me. Lang Wei suddenly broke into a sweat. How did she know that? The Huyan DM beast was actually transforming into its body and rushing towards Nyan Bang Wei from behind, but she already knew that the surrounding area was full of red diagonal and vertical lines, clearly sensing even a fly passing by. As soon as I lifted up my sky, I knew from which direction the Huyan DM beast was rushing. Without even blinking her eyes, she ruthlessly attacked the snowballs and made several blows right in the air, right in front of Lang Wei's terrified eyes, but she was powerless to do anything. This is a blue-eyed white dragon with an attack power of 3000. The ultimate dragon beast was taught the deification skill by Tabin. Yet its owner was in the finals of the Global Elite Tournament, but was cornered by the opponent without the power to fight back, and the opponent conveniently swung a sword and cut the snowball into 8 pieces. If you don't believe it, count again. Looking at the Huyan Diem beast being shredded in the air, Lang Wei could not keep calm, but just helplessly screamed a snowball. Nyan Bang Wei smiled when she saw that desperate expression. She naturally hates cute things the most and likes to act cute. This facial expression is what she wants to see to savor the taste of the approaching winner. Suddenly, her red body turned red, so fast in the air that it left an image right where she had just stood. Then Nyan Bang Wei, from the left side, rushed forward and slashed her strange sword down onto Lang Wei's face. This lightning speed had never been shown before, making it difficult for Lang Wei to escape in time. With a loud slashing sound from the heavenly sword, as if wanting to plow the ground of the yard, he fought inside the level 9 protection layer, smashing Lang Wei's ice and bone protection into several pieces. Unlike when she fought against Tan Thien Thien's blood spirit demon, this time the little ice branch could no longer help her stand upright. Looking at the silver bone star Wei Long, who was quite far away from her, Lang Wei was frustrated and realized that if her distance kept being extended, she would be at an increasingly disadvantage. Using the little ice protection, Nyan Bang Wei, with just one sweep of the sky, easily smashed it into hundreds of pieces, clearly much more powerful than Lang Wei. But the silver bone crystal moon dragon is now alone with 3 pet beasts, making it difficult to separate it. Is it possible to continue playing hide and seek with Nyan Bang Wei? Now she doesn't have any effective moves, she only has 2 pets that have been summoned. Only this white dragon is capable of dueling with Nyan Bang Wei. As if hearing its owner's will, the silver bone star Wei Long suddenly turned its head towards Lang Wei, roared loudly, then rushed past the threatened Lang Wei, dragging 3 pet beasts close behind. It wanted to use its front claws to scratch Nyan Bang Wei, but she quickly jumped out to avoid it, creating a good distance from Lang Wei. Realizing that the silver bone star Wei Long had just helped her create an opportunity, Lang Wei squinted her eyes and stared at the place where Nyan Bang Wei had just jumped. Immediately, all the arrows of deified thunderbolts changed direction and aimed towards the direction of Nyan Bang Wei. Nyan Bang Wei prepares to attack. Thinking that he could make his opponent suffer, Lang Wei stood still in a small layer of ice, watching as Nyan Bang Wei had her head blown off. Unexpectedly, she used her old speed again. When did she get close to Lang Wei's back, not forgetting to sarcastically say that this little piece of ice is a good product, but the divine thunder arrow is even better. What if I took a stick and hit him on the back? Observing how Lang Wei competes in the nightmare hunting round, Nyan Bang Wei knows that the divine thunder arrow has a disadvantage. It cannot aim accurately without plowing the surrounding area. She wanted to test to see if the arrows would dare to shoot in this direction if she stood so close to Lang Wei. Sure enough, the moon dragon's silver mist clearly saw that the range of the wind god thunder arrow that was fired would smash its owner first, because Lang Wei's speed clearly could not keep up with Nyan Bang Wei. In a moment of silence, Nyan Bang Wei's pet beasts simultaneously rushed up to attack the silver mist moon Wei dragon, at the same time blocking its view towards the owner, wanting to cut off the communication between the 2 masters and servants. From the white mouth of the silver mist moon dragon, he exhaled a stream of ice from 1,000 miles of ice, wanting to freeze the small masses in front of him so that he could take advantage of the time to run past Lang Wei. Seeing the moment when the odds were overturned, Nyan Bang Wei's red eyes left Lang Wei's place and flew forward, brandishing Tan Ky Thien's hand and took out the magic sword, chopping into Wei Dragon's silver mist neck, causing it to roar in agony. Being seriously injured causes all the divine lightning arrows to disintegrate into thin air without a trace. So Lang Wei has just lost his defense system and cannot attack with the white dragon's injured state. She panicked and rushed towards the silver moon star moon dragon with her swollen neck, wanting to see how it was injured. Confused and panicked, Lang Wei did not realize that behind her 3 tentacles were rushing to lock her in place, unable to move. 2 held both hands, 1 curled around the jaw to lock Lang Wei's mouth, tightly sealing the 3 words. "I admit loss," as soon as they left her mouth. The judges from above looked around at the match situation. Currently, both of Lang Wei's pets are seriously injured, still being controlled and just waiting for the opponent to strike, making it very difficult to reverse the situation. Moreover, it was clear that she had actively admitted defeat, and the referee above had also heard it, but they secretly glanced towards Tin Kong and saw True Vo Kuk's index finger shaking, indicating that he did not want to fight. The fight stops here. Tin Kong's 2 money-grabbing referees immediately ignored Lang Wei's surrender, thinking that she still had the ability to resist, and continued the match, causing the audience below to boo loudly in protest. Too earthy. Who hasn't heard that sound of admitting defeat? If you silence the contestants, do you want to silence the public or what? Just stop playing such a despicable trick, and be so blatant, so what should you do? It's clear that the weak will be trampled by the strong, so why bother? True Vo Kuk crossed his arms and smiled with a deathly expression in the stands. Next to him was Don Fong Tiu, who stood looking at the situation with apparent satisfaction. Now is the time for their young lady to take action. Nyan Bang Wei slowly held the Qian and walked towards Lang Wei, who was being lifted into the air by several bright tentacles. Trembling in helplessness when they saw Nyan Bang Wei approaching with murderous intent but unable to open her mouth to say a word, causing the audience to bow their heads and not dare to watch the hope of Longjiang City being ended right before their eyes. With Nyan Bang Wei's personality, there is a high possibility that she will take away her eyes first to torment her opponent, not just a simple killing blow like that. Muk Bak Hai smiled with satisfaction when he saw those who opposed the star were about to receive such a tragic end. Meanwhile, Duong Longqian and Tan Duhoang were embarrassed and did not say a word. Even though they are paving stones, the tricks of these stars cannot be underestimated. Bin quietly watched his sister on the field. He didn't say a word, didn't do anything, no one knew what he was thinking. But perhaps today the mischievous pet shop cannot bring the championship prize back to Longjiang City base. Nyan Bang Wei filled with murderous intent, pushing his elbow back and using a knife to prepare to stab Lang Wei. This will be her favorite part, when she kills something called cute. Suddenly, above the heads of the audience, a golden light flashed from behind, crashing into the level 9 white curtain the competition judges had set up earlier. That golden light covered the head of Lang Wei, who was tightly closing her eyes to block it, and covered the tip of the strange sword, just a few centimeters away from her eyes. She has already admitted defeat, the first stop is here. Hearing his brother's voice ringing in his ears, Lang Wei opened his eyes in bewilderment to see Bin, his bare hand holding the tip of the sword to block him. With one hand holding the tip of the red sword, with the other he crushed the tentacles, his whole body covered in a layer of golden spiritual energy. Nyan Bang Wei was in the midst of an attack and refused to stop, trying to push the sword forward but couldn't move it. The heavenly sword in Bin's hand was like an animal trembling and begging for its life, while both Nyan Bang Wei and the Starry Sky people wondered when this guy appeared on the field without anyone knowing. Looking back, I saw that when he rushed into the arena, he left a large hole in the protective screen. The MC was shocked. The level 9 white screen this person rushed into was so fast that it seemed like it didn't take any effort. He looked up at the group of interrogators hovering above, coldly snorted, "Hasn't he announced the end yet?"